Flick spends the entire film trying to fit in better. There are several subplots, but all of them tie into the main plot. The subplot about the circus bugs not being good enough for P.T. Flea ties in by the fact that Flick gives them a renewed purpose, which greatly improves Flick's self-esteem. The subplot about Ada taking on her mother's duties ties in by Ada having to act as a leader in the final battle. The subplot about Dot idolizing Flick ties in by Dot leading the team of blueberries to power Flick's bird. The subplot about Frances being mistaken for a woman ties in because the blueberries look up to Frances, which by extension helps build trust between the circus bugs and the ants. Although there is a theme of if you're a misfit, be proud of it, it is apparent from the beginning of the movie. Once upon a time, there was an ant named Flick. Every day he tried to improve other ants' lives, but failed. One day he is sent away for a few weeks. Because of that, he discovers a group of circus bugs. Because of that, he comes up with a plan to defeat the grasshoppers. Until finally, his original plan doesn't work, but his ingenuity and improved relations with the other characters allow him to defeat the grasshoppers. The important characters are Flick, Hopper, Ada, Dot, the circus bugs, and the other ants, which is not a very long list. This is not the opposite of what Flick is comfortable with. He is used to constantly screwing up, and he is definitely prepared for the trip to the big city and to lead the circus bugs into battle. Flick is seen as a hero and accepted as a colony member, and his inventions are accepted, and the grasshoppers are gone. He did not have to sacrifice anything to get these. In Andrew Stanton's original draft of the script, the circus bugs intentionally lie to the ants, and Flick was one of them. This obviously went through significant change. Initially, the writers didn't know how to replace the fact that the circus bugs were evil. This is what would not happen next. A. Flick would magically become better. B. The other ants would magically get more food. Or C. The circus bugs would be interested in being warriors. This story was originally developed from Aesop's fable, The Ant and the Grasshopper, where the ant works hard all spring and summer and the grasshopper does nothing. The grasshopper then asks for food, and the ant says that the grasshopper should have worked harder to collect food. In points 8 and 10, I explained how the film was originally developed from Aesop's fable, and that it underwent many developmental changes. This is a great example of putting a story on paper, as the original version would certainly not resonate the same way as Toy Story. As I explained in point 8, the circus bugs were originally the villains, and Flick was one of them. This was an obvious choice, as that was common for animated films at the time, but it didn't make for a very good story, as there would have been no reason for the circus bugs to stay as long as they did. Flick's opinion that he is bad at everything he does, which has been drilled into him for his whole life, continues to exist until the end of the film in some way. For example, when Ada gets mad at him for lying about the circus bugs, this opinion comes back up, even though he has no logical reason to believe that the bird won't work. In point 10, I explained how the movie is based on The Ant and the Grasshopper by Aesop. This movie was originally spun out of the idea that the grasshopper could simply take the food, and the ant wouldn't be able to stop them. If I were Flick in the opening scenes, I would feel angry at the rest of the colony for not taking my invention seriously when they know that it works, embarrassed and afraid for potentially killing the entire colony, and relieved to go to the city, since it is the easiest and safest way that I can accomplish what I want to. Flick is facing the threat of banishment from the ant colony. In point 8, I explained how the script underwent many changes, to the point where Andrew Stanton said that one of the fundamental pillars, which was the circus bugs being evil, had to be removed. Flick is never conflicted with regards to which side he is on, so his final test isn't to prove his loyalty, but to see if he has been refined enough to actually help. The fact that Flick happened to come across the circus bugs and thinks they are warriors gets him into a lot of trouble. And the way that he gets out is not by coincidence. Even with the ending scene where the bird tries to eat Hopper, Flick intentionally lured Hopper toward the nest. In point 10, I explained how the film is adapted from Aesop's fable, The Ant and the Grasshopper. That story had the fundamental building blocks of this film, such as the ants working hard to collect food and the grasshopper capitalizing off of that success. A lot of people, especially the filmmakers, feel like they are excluded and not taken seriously for no logical reason. In this film, it is actually explained why society doesn't take the protagonist seriously, and the protagonist proves by themselves that the society is wrong. Flick searches for something to defeat the grasshoppers and help him fit in, finds the circus bugs, and is ultimately able to defeat the grasshoppers and win the support of the colony.